The movie begins this time with Ryan Fan, Carter's roommate from the first movie, waking up in his car on campus because Carter had Tree in his room and Ryan wanted to let him have his privacy. Ryan heads to his dorm room and walks in on Carter and Tree making out on their bed, and they tell him to leave. Ryan then gets a phone call from his friend, Samar, telling him he needs to come into their student lab. Ryan arrives to the classroom when one of his advisors comes into the room and tells Ryan he is shutting down his big project because no progress is being made and they are using too much electricity to power their device. Ryan refers to his project as a quantum mechanics device, which is a group project Ryan, Samar, and Andrea are working on for their graduate program. Ryan is upset because of this, and then he gets a weird picture text on his phone of someone taking random pictures of him, and Ryan starts to follow where the pictures are coming from. Ryan looks in a closet and then is stabbed by the baby-face killer from the first movie. He then wakes up in his car, just like he did at the beginning. Being just as confused as Tree was in the first movie, he doesn't know what to do or think. Ryan goes into his room to talk to Tree and Carter, where he tells them he is having some weird deja vu. Tree recaps to Ryan what happened to her in the first movie, and now she believes Ryan is going through the same thing. Ryan takes them to the lab where he was stabbed, and the killer isn't there this time. Ryan shows them his project that he calls Sissy, and it is a thesis project trying to confirm that time can be slowed down on a molecular level. Tree comes to the conclusion that Ryan created the time loop as he said it fired off on Monday the 18th, which is the day Tree was living over and over again. They all have lunch together where they try figuring out why this could have happened and how to fix it. Carter comes up with the idea to go to the school basketball game, which doesn't help Ryan feel much safer because there are baby face masks everywhere. Someone sets off the fire alarm and they are ordered to leave the arena, which is bad news bears for Ryan. Ryan gets separated from the group, and then the killer starts chasing him down the hallway leading into a boiler room in the basement. The killer finds Ryan and is about to kill him, but Tree shows up and knocks him out from behind. They pull the mask off of the killer, and it is a different version of Ryan. The killer Ryan tells them he is just trying to close the time loop, and the only way it can happen is if he kills current Ryan. Current Ryan, being completely freaked out, goes and starts up Sissy, which results in everyone in the room being blasted off in slow motion. Tree then wakes up just like she did in the first movie, and it is her birthday once again. Tree orders Ryan to get into the room and fix the problem he has created. Carter and Ryan are super confused, and they just think she is crazy until she mentions Sissy, and then Ryan starts to wonder what he must have done. They follow Tree to her dorm room, where Tree confronts Lori and asks her where the poison cupcake is. Lori has no idea what she is talking about and didn't even have a cupcake to give her, deeply confusing Tree. Tree sits down at lunch with Carter and Ryan to explain everything that has been happening to her, as they know nothing right now. Ryan suggests she may have entered a different parallel reality, which turns out to be the truth whenever Danielle walks in the room and kisses Carter right in front of Tree. Tree's dad calls her, and she leaves to meet up with him. When Tree gets to lunch with her dad like in the first movie, her mom walks up to them, completely shocking Tree because her mom was deceased in her actual reality. Tree can't believe it and is super enthused to see and hug her mom once again. Ryan is about to run Sissy and send Tree back to her original reality whenever Tree runs into the room and tells them not to do it because she wants to spend more time with her mom and maybe even stay in this reality. Tree is saddened though because Carter is dating Danielle in this reality as they have gotten close in her actual reality. Tree watches videos and memories of her and her mom, and it is off to her because they are memories she doesn't remember making. The past is not what she thought it was. Tree runs to the hospital to try and kill the escaped patient before he gets on the loose, and when she gets there, she is arrested by a security guard, and as he is dealing with her, the baby-face killer comes out and murders him. Tree thinks the killer is Lori until Lori shows up behind her and drags her into the elevator, saving her. Lori isn't the killer in this reality. Tree and Lori sneak around the hospital trying to get out whenever the killer shows up and stabs Lori in the stomach. The killer then chases Tree out onto the roof, where Tree accidentally runs off of it to her death. She wakes up and asks Carter what reality she is in, and she is in the reality where Carter is dating Danielle. They all go to the lab, where Tree tells Ryan she wants to stay in this dimension, and he needs to find a way to close the loop. They tell Tree they have no idea what they are dealing with, and it's not as easy as just closing the loop. They need a trial and error type of experiment to figure out what works and what doesn't, and that would be the only way they can get the equations right to close the loop. The only person that could do the trial and error experiment is Tree because she's the only one that would remember the data as she is the only one in the loop. Carter suggests that Tree has to remember everything every time she resets the loop. We then get a montage of Tree doing many time loops and remembering all the equations and numbers to relay to Ryan the next day. Instead of being killed by the babyface killer every loop, she finds a way to take herself out so the process is easier and quicker. She also spends as much time with her mom as possible during these loops, and she gets saddened by seeing Carter and Danielle being all lovey-dovey, though. Tree wakes up after one loop, and she is not feeling good at all. Tree passes out on Carter and then wakes up in hospital similar to the first movie. The doctor shows up in her hospital room, and he doesn't even recognize her in this reality. Tree sneaks out of her hospital bed, and she steals a guard's gun hoping to go kill the escaped patient before he can cause mayhem. She is too late as he is already killed, but then dies by exploding some cans of flammable gas. Tree tells them the numbers that they need, and this is when Ryan tells Tree there is only one possibility left for the equation. Ryan enters the numbers, and it glows green for them, signaling it has worked. Ryan says she has to decide which reality she is staying in for good because the loop will be closed after this last attempt. Ryan says he needs about 6 hours to reset the code, and then they will close the loop. Tree tells Carter that she doesn't want to pick between Carter and her mom as they are together in the other dimension, but she can't leave her mom after spending so much time without her. Carter tells her that this current Tree isn't the real Tree as none of those past memories are actually the real her. I know, it's confusing. Ryan is ready to close the loop and Tree is in the car with her parents trying to get out of town as quickly as possible so nothing can happen to them, and so she can't be killed to reset the loop. Carter shows up at the hospital hoping to save Lori as Tree told him she would die tonight. While Tree is sitting in a hotel room, she sees a news segment that says Lori and Carter both were murdered at the hospital as Carter was trying to subdue the escaped patient. This deeply upsets Tree and she tries calling Ryan to stop Sissy from running and closing the loop, but he isn't answering his phone. Tree knows if the loop is closed, Carter is gone for good and deep down she knows she wants to be with him. With him not answering the phone, Tree comes up with the idea to make the loop reset one more time by speeding into an electrical subdivision and dying one more time. Tree wakes up and still knows all of the numbers, so she tells them to Ryan, and she decided she wants to go back to her original reality and be with Carter. She asks for a few hours so she can go say goodbye to her mom for good this time, as she didn't get to in her actual reality. Tree goes to talk to Danielle whenever she sees Danielle cheating on Carter with a frat boy. What a nasty woman. Tree shows up to the lunch with her parents and says goodbye to her mom and how much she loves her. Very emotional scene and great acting by Jessica Rothe. Tree gets one last birthday meal and cake with both of her parents. Tree gets to the lab and tells Ryan to start up Sissy, and right before it is about to be ran, a school administrator comes into the lab and says the project is over and he's unplugging it. He takes it and wheels it out of the room into a locked closet. Tree comes up with the idea to have Danielle distract the guy while they steal back Sissy. Danielle goes into the professor's office and acts blind while she is distracting him. While she is doing that, the rest of the group go to his office to steal his keys and then get Sissy out of the closet. They are able to wheel Sissy out of the closet into the lab once again. Tree looks at the clock and thinks she has to find Lori's killer before the time is up since Ryan is going to need a few hours to have Sissy ready. Tree gets to the hospital and saves Lori from the escaped patient, but he wasn't actually the killer, and Tree tells Lori how the doctor was the actual killer. The doctor says he wasn't the only killer and his wife was in on the murdering too. The doctor is about to shoot Tree whenever he points his gun at his wife and kills her also. But then Tree pins him up against a huge magnet and stabs him with a screwdriver. Luckily, Lori survived her bullet wound and all the good guys are still alive. Ryan is able to get Sissy running and the time loop is reset with Tree in her actual reality again. Tree kisses Carter in excitement and the movie ends with Ryan saying he thinks he might have pooped his pants. And that is it for this one. Any other movies or series I should do? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.